The Puffalump Journey. A boy felt sad but didn't know why. He played with his toys, but they just weren't fun. He rode his bike to his friend's house, and they played on the swings, but that wasn't fun either. The boy just wasn't having fun anymore. He rode home, plopped on his bed, and sat with his legs crossed and his hands on his chin. The boy's daddy passed his son's room and saw the big frown on the boy's face. He entered and sat next to the boy. "What's wrong, son?" "I don't know," said the boy. "Well, what do you think it is?" the father continued. "I'm sad," responded the boy. "Why are you sad?" "Nothing's fun anymore." "Not even your toys?" "Nope." "Not even playing with Robbie Jenkins?" "Not even playing with Robbie Jenkins," the boy responded. The father thought for a moment, then slapped the boy on his knee and smiled. "I know what you need, son." The boy looked up at him. "Really? What do I need, Dad?" "You need a puffalump." The boy didn't understand. "What's a puffalump, Dad?" "A puffalump is a pink furry creature that hatches from an egg in a nest." "Really?" "Yep." "Well, how do I find a puffalump?" "You have to go to the hidden Puffalump forest. It's a magical forest where everything glows and sparkles." "How do I know where it is?" "No one knows where it is for sure, but there is a way to find it. Do you want to know how?" "Yeah!" The boy stood up, stretched his legs, then sat back down. The glittering Puffalump forest is hidden deep in the wilderness, but its magical pink and blue glow extends out and touches everything in the world at all times. "Really?" "Yep. And you can't see the glow outside the forest, but you can feel it." "How can you feel it?" "You can feel it in your heart." "In your heart? I don't think I can feel with my heart," said the boy. "Sure you can," the man smiled. "It just takes practice. And I know you'll be very good at feeling with your heart if you try." "How do you know, Dad?" "Because I'm your dad and I know these things." "But if I go, I'll miss you and Mommy." "Well, you don't have to go if you don't want to. If you're happy, then everything's fine. But there comes a time in everyone's life where nothing's fun anymore. If that has happened to you, the only thing that will make you happy is finding a puffalump. A furry, smiling puffalump that's warm and cuddly and has pink paw pads. "Did you ever go to the Puffalump forest?" the boy asked. "Yes, I did, son." "And did you find a puffalump?" "Yes, I did," the father smiled. "Did you go with someone else?" "You can only find the Puffalump forest alone. That's just the way it works." "Well, where's the puffalump you found?" The father smiled again, stood and kissed the boy. The father walked to the door, then turned. "Son, you need to go out and find a puffalump. Then you'll be the happiest boy in the world." The father turned back and left down the hallway. The next day, the boy packed his backpack with peanut butter sandwiches and a sleeping bag. He walked to the front door, took a deep breath, and walked outside to begin his great journey to the Puffalump forest. When he reached the edge of his driveway, he didn't know where to go. He said to himself, "I gotta feel my heart. I gotta just listen to my heart." The boy closed his eyes and took some slow steps. He didn't know if he was going the right way. He said again, "I gotta just follow my heart. I gotta just follow my heart." After a while, he looked back to his home. It looked like a little pea. The sky was growing dark. The boy became frightened. He thought, "I don't like this anymore. I want to go home." He thought more. "But if I go home, I'll just be sad again. I'm scared now, but Dad said I'd be scared. I think I'm going to go on and find that puffalump." The boy continued into the night. Soon he unrolled his sleeping bag and went to sleep. The next day, the boy arrived at a split in the road and didn't know which way to go. He worried that he might take the wrong path and never find the Puffalump forest. Maybe he had been walking the wrong way all along. Why can't there just be a sign to tell me where to go? The boy thought. But there was no sign. I want to go home. The boy sat in the grass and started crying. He cried and cried until he couldn't cry any more. Then everything became quiet. Because there was no noise, he began feeling his heart again. He had forgotten about his heart. Now he listened to it. It was telling him where to go. It wasn't telling him in words, but it was just telling him. The boy stood up, then ventured down one of the paths. He didn't know why he chose this path, but he just chose it. He continued walking. Soon he was not feeling so sad anymore. He was feeling okay. He was far away from his home and friends and toys and family, but he was feeling okay. I must be getting near the Puffalump forest, he thought. The boy walked for many days and nights. He watched the butterflies in the fields and how the breeze blew the dandelions off their stems. He looked at the different trees and watched how some were tall and some were small. Some had pine needles and others had flat leaves. Some had smooth brown trunks while others had gray bumpy trunks. Trees grew all around his home, but until now he never noticed that trees could be so different. After passing many roads, the boy became quite weary. I'm tired of walking, he shouted and plopped on the path. I'm tired of looking for this Puffalump forest. I'm tired of this dusty road. I'm tired of missing my mommy and daddy. I'm tired of missing my friends and my toys and my bed. And most of all, I'm tired of trying to listen to my heart. I think my heart is stupid. I think Dad was wrong about my heart and the Puffalump forest. The boy felt so angry he stopped thinking and lied back and stared at the sky. After a very long time, everything became quiet and he felt his heart again. But this time, he wasn't going to listen. Now you listen here, heart. I'm sick of listening to you. All you do is make me walk on dusty roads and make me sad and lonely, and I miss my parents. And I'm not going to listen to you anymore. The boy rolled on his belly and started to cry. He cried and cried and cried, and when he couldn't cry anymore, he became silent and just stayed silent. He lied silently the whole afternoon and into the twilight. Now something strange happened. The boy stood up and grabbed his backpack. He walked away from the road and entered the forest. He didn't know what he was doing or why, but he didn't care anymore. He wasn't trying to listen to his heart or his father or the road or anything. Only silence filled his head. A log lay in front of him, so he walked over it. A brook trickled before him, so he tiptoed across the stones. Through the moonlight, he just walked and walked with the silence in his head. After a long while, he looked up. In the distance, the forest was glowing. He jumped in the air and shouted, "Whoopee! It's the Puffalump forest! It's the Puffalump forest!" The boy ran as fast as he could towards the glow. Specks of glitter began dotting the ground. Then the trees and rocks and stumps all sparkled with a pink-blue glow. The boy stopped and looked around and high above. Out of breath, he gazed in amazement. Wow! I guess I was feeling my heart all along. At last, he stood inside the secret Puffalump forest. After a short rest, he said, "Okay, now that I'm in the Puffalump forest, where are all these Puffalumps?" Next to the trees and rocks lay nests sprinkled with pink eggshells. Wow, these must be Puffalump eggs. I can't wait to find a real live Puffalump. He peeked from trees, but nothing moved. He crept up and quickly lifted a rock. No Puffalump appeared. He climbed a tree and remained still for a long time, but the forest just sparkled in silence. The boy felt frustrated. "Now you listen here, Puffalumps," he shouted from the tree. "I came all the way from my house very far away to find me a Puffalump, So one of you should come out and come home with me right now." Suddenly, giggling sounded from all directions. "Is that you, Puffalump?" There was no response. The boy raced down to the bushes. He tumbled rocks. He poked his head in the holes of trees. Not a Puffalump could he find. He stopped looking and sat in the stump. "Puffalumps, come out now!" he shouted. There was still no response. "Won't you please come out?" he pleaded. Only the empty pink shells kept him company. The boy put his head in his sleeve and started to cry. Then, without warning, out from the bushes jumped a furry pink creature with big blue eyes and a nose that looked like a button. It was a Puffalump. The boy didn't see it because he was crying. The Puffalump spoke. "Hello, little boy." The boy's head sprung up. "Wow, you're a Puffalump," he gasped. "Please don't cry, little boy." The boy lunged to catch the Puffalump, and poof! It disappeared into the air. The boy thumped to the ground and bumped his head on a log. "Why did you disappear?" the boy asked. The forest was silent. Then responded a voice. "Puffalumps don't like to be caught." "But why not?" the boy asked. "Because we just don't like it." The boy stood up. "Well, I'm sorry." The boy paused, then spoke again. "What would you like me to say?" "You can say whatever you want," said the voice. "I have great toys. If you come back with me, I'll let you play with all of my toys whenever you want." "Puffalumps don't need toys." The boy thought. "I have a neat neighborhood with lots of trails and places, and a bunch of friends that you'll like a lot, and they'll like you a lot." "That's nice, but I'm a happy Puffalump. I have nice friends here." The boy didn't know what else to say, but he spoke anyway. "Oh, Puffalump, I don't know what I have to give you. I just wanted to be with you because I was sad at home, and my daddy told me that I needed a Puffalump, and I didn't even know why I needed a Puffalump, but now I know that my daddy was right, and I just need a Puffalump so badly." The Puffalump peeked from behind a tree and asked, "Why do you need a Puffalump so badly?" She crouched just a few feet away, but the boy didn't feel like jumping at her again. He just wanted to be himself. The Puffalump again asked, "Why do you want to be with me so badly?" The boy looked up at her and felt very embarrassed, but he just said it. "Because I love you, Puffalump! I love you!" "Oh, boy!" shouted the Puffalump. At once she jumped into the boy's arms. "I love you too," she said. The boy and the Puffalump hugged so tightly, and the magical forest glowed brighter than ever. The boy and the Puffalump left the forest, holding hands the whole journey back. They arrived at his house, and he rang the doorbell. His mom and dad opened the door, smiling. "Hello, son," said the father. "Hi, Dad. Mom, look! I did just what you said, Dad. I walked so far away and cried, and just when I thought I would never find it, I found the Puffalump forest, and it was magical and glowing, and then I found this Puffalump, and I told her, 'I love you, Puffalump,' and she said, 'I love you too.' So we left the forest and came back home." "That's wonderful, son. We're very happy for you," the father calmly replied. "But Dad, weren't you worried about me?" "I was never worried about you, son." "Why weren't you worried about me?" "Because you were never in danger. You were just finding your Puffalump. All boys one day leave to find their Puffalumps. Now you found yours." The boy stood confused. "What happened to your Puffalump, Daddy?" The father laughed, then hugged and kissed the boy's mommy. "Son, who do you think this is right here?" "Mom! But she's not a Puffalump. She's a girl." "And what do you think is by your side?" "What?" The boy turned, and to his amazement he saw not the furry animal from the forest, but a girl with long blonde hair and rosy cheeks and a big bright smile. The boy asked, "When did you change to a girl?" "I was a girl all along." "But I only saw a Puffalump before." "I know," she smiled. But why did I only see a puffalump before, and now I see a beautiful girl?" The girl giggled. "That's the magic of the Puffalump forest.